Good morning, children. Today we are moving on to the second chapter of English, that is Everybody Says. Before moving on to the second chapter, we had an activity in the first chapter. What was the activity? To draw and color a butterfly and make a tea mat out of it. So, here are the names of children who have sent me the activity. Let's read. So, Brian Matthew, Joel Tom Binney, Abel J. Collera, Ayansh Mishra, Jordan Geo George, Tressa Mathai, Johan John George, Carol George Thomas, Tim Thomas Praveen, Austin Alexi Aji, Nayal Muhammad and Amit Shaiju. So, these are the names of children who have sent me the activity. Those who haven't done, kindly send it to me at the earliest. Now, let's move on to our second chapter, it is Everybody Says. Here, Everybody Says is a poem. So, what is a poem? A poem is a collection of words that uses ideas or emotions in an imaginative style. So, a poem will be written in an imaginative style by a poet. Now, who is a poet? A poet is the one who writes a poem. A poem is something different from a story. A story will not be having a rhythm, a poem will be having a rhythm. Now, let's take page number 11 in your textbook. So, you might have heard someone saying that you look like your mother, father, or sometimes you may resemble your grandparents. Here also, a child is talking about her relatives, talking to her about her appearance. So, here Everybody Says is written by Dorothy Aldous. So, she is Dorothy Aldous and she has written the poem Everybody Says. So, Dorothy Aldous was a children's author and poet. She was born in Chicago, that's a place in America, and she died in the year 1966. So, this is a brief description about the poet Dorothy Aldous. Now, you can take page number 11 and you have a warm-up exercise there. Here you have to do, who do you look like? Father, mother, aunt, uncle, grandfather or grandmother. Paste pictures of yourself and that family member here. So, who do you look like? You have to paste a picture of yourself and the person whom you look like. So, that is the activity for you. Now, let's move on to the poem. Here in this, Dorothy Aldous, the poet, she talks as a child. In her childhood, she used to hear everyone saying about her appearance. Someone used to say that she looked like her mother, some used to say that she looked like her aunt, and some used to say that her nose looked like her father's nose. Now, let's read the poem. Open the textbook, page number 12. Everybody says, I look just like my mother. Everybody says I am the image of Aunt B. So, what is everybody saying? Everybody is saying that she looks like her mother. The child looks like her mother. And everybody says I am the image of Aunt B. Image means a copy of. So, some says that she looks like her mother and others say that she is just a copy of her Aunt B. Now, we will move on to the second paragraph. Everybody says, my nose is like my father's, but I want to look like me. Here what is everybody saying? Everybody says that her nose is like her father's nose, but the child wants to look like herself. She doesn't want to look like anyone, she just wants to look like herself. So, what is written in the poem? Everybody is saying that she looks like her mother and everybody says that she is just a copy of her Aunt B. Everybody else says that she has her father's nose, but the child wants to look like herself, she doesn't want to look like anyone. Now, let's read the poem together. Open your textbook. Everybody says, I look just like my mother. Everybody says, I am the image of Aunt B. Everybody says my nose is like my father's, but I want to look like me. Here you can see the name of the poet written under the poem. Hope you have understood the poem. Now let's move on to our exercises. So I'll read out the question. You can do the answer. Reading comprehension. Choose the correct options from the brackets and fill in the blanks. So first question I am going to read out. Everybody says the child looks like her. You have option mother, father. So what does everybody say? That she looks like her father or mother. Whatever is correct, you can tick it. Second question. Everybody says the child's nose is like her father's aunt's. So what does everybody says? Her nose is like her father's or aunt's. Tick the correct answer. The third question, the poet says, I want to look like Aunt P, me. The child wants to look like herself. So what is the answer? Hope you have done it. Now let's check the answer. Everybody says the child looks like her mother. The second question, everybody says the child's nose is like her father's. The poet says, I want to look like me. Now moving on to the second question. Complete the answers to these questions. Here in the second line, what does everybody say about the child? So what does everybody say about the child? In the second line, it's asked. Everybody says that she looks like her mother. So you can write down the answer. Everybody says that is given in the text. You can write down after that in the space provided in the text. So moving on to the second question. Who is the child an image of? So what does everyone say? Who she is an image of? She is the image of her Aunt B. Now let's write the answer. The child is an image of her Aunt B. The child is given in the text and you can write the rest in your textbook. So moving on to the next question. See, what does this line mean? Tick the correct option. But I want to look like me. What does that line mean? The poet wants to look like herself. The poet wants to look like her mother. The poet wants to look like her aunt. So whom does the child wants to look like? The poet wants to look like herself. So tick the first option. Now let's see the compound words. So what are compound words? We have learned it in our previous class. When two meaningful words are joined to get another meaningful word, that is the compound word. For example, butter plus fly. A butterfly, we get the compound word. So now we will read in the text. Read this word, everybody. It is made up of two words, every plus body, that becomes everybody. Now we have butter plus fly, that becomes butterfly. Next page, it's bed plus room, we get the word bedroom. And the next, fire plus man, we get a compound word, fireman. So this is a compound words. Now we'll match. Match the words in columns A and B to make new words. Write the new words in column C. One has been done for you. In column A, I'll read out the words rain, out, gentle, camp, head. In column B, we have fire, master, coat, side, man. We have to match it and make a compound word and write it in column C. So first one has been done for you. The first word is rain and it has been matched to coat to form a compound word, raincoat. So you have out, gentle, camp, head. You can form a compound word and write it in column C. Next we have an activity. Get some pictures of yourself as a little child. Choose the ones that you like the most. On a chart paper, make a collage with these pictures. So you have to get some pictures of yourself as a little child. Choose a picture and paste it on a chart paper. So this is an activity for you. Next, my word bank. Write the new words that you have learnt in this poem. You have learnt many new words in this poem. You can write down the words in the space provided. So today we have learnt about a poem. We learnt what a poem is. We learnt the poet and we learnt everybody says. Hope you understood this. That's all for today. Thank you.